All right, so for this video, what we're going to be doing is covering exactly the formulas and the steps that we do in order to find simple and compound interest. So why don't we go ahead and start with the basics. We have I equals PRT. So that falls under simple formula. So I equals your principal multiplied by your rate multiplied by the time, and remember the time is always in years. Now because this is the parent formula, so this is our parent formula, it has three children or three derivations of the formula. There's one for P, there's one for R, and there's one for T. Now in order to solve for P, all we need to do is move the RT over. So the formula that we get is I divided by your rate as a percentage multiplied by your time in years. To solve for R, you do the exact same steps. You're going to put I, but instead of dividing by the rate, you're going to divide by the principal and then the time. Now because rate is always a percentage, as soon as you get this afterwards, you have to multiply by 100 before you put the percent sign. But you'll get this as a strict formula. To multiply by 100 just makes it into a percent. And then the last formula, you're going to do I, and instead of dividing by T, you're going to divide by P times R. Now remember, this formula is always in years. So if you're trying to create something that is in months or in days, you will have to adjust it. However, the interest is always your extra amount. So the key words you're going to be learning are things like extra or earn. So these are some of the key words that you're going to be looking for when you read the formulas. Now the next formula that we're going to talk about is the summative formula, or the formula for the maturity value or the final amount. And for the summative formula, you're going to get S equals your principal multiplied by 1 plus your rate as a percentage multiplied by your time in years. Just like the last one, this has three derivations. There's one for your principal, one for your rate, and one for the time in years. Now just like this, you're going to be looking at moving the 1 plus RT over in order to solve. So principal is your summative value divided by 1 plus your rate multiplied by your time in years. So these two formulas look very different. However, these formulas are actually very, very simple because we know that your interest equals your summative amount minus the principal amount. So when we do R, instead of putting I, we're actually going to be writing S minus P, and then dividing by the principal multiplied by the time in years. And once again, once you get this, you will need to multiply by 100 in order to make it a percent. Time is the exact same way. Instead of writing I, we're going to write S and subtract our P and divide by the principal, but this time multiplied by the rate. So here's the parent formula and the three derivations. Now, all of these are under simple interest. So this is not dealing with anything to do with compound. It's just dealing with simple. However, we also have compound to focus on. And now for compound, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. So once again, we have S equals P, 1 plus, but instead of writing RT, we're actually going to put our rate divided by our M multiplied by the time in years times our M. Now remember, the M is the number of times something is compounded in a set period. This is the main and the parent formula for compound interest. We are only going to be doing one derivation of it, and that is in order to find the principal amount. So if you have the full maturity value and you're looking for what you need to invest in order to earn that, then what you're going to get is P equals, and we're just going to move this over. So your full amount divided by 1 plus your rate over M times the time in year multiplied by your M. So now this one is for compound. And some of the key words that you might see with this are words like compound, compounding, or compounded. So here are some of our key words that we see when we're doing the compound formula. But just like here when we discovered I equals S minus P, we also know that S equals your interest plus your principal. So these are some of the main formulas that you're going to need. You're going to need this with their derivations. You're going to need the formula for the summative amount and the derivations, and you're going to need the formula for compound interest with this one principle. If you can get these formulas down, know how to use them, and identify the key words, you should be successful on the exam.